that. But I do think it's a step down for him.
Yeah, no, I do too. I think it's a great opportunity. I still think Shaka's a great coach. Now, many don't know if he was going to be brought back at Texas or not. I think Texas had a good year, but the early exit in the NCAA tournament didn't help him. But, I think he'll do great at Marquette. I think, obviously, the Big East with, now it'll probably be Marquette and Villanova. But much easier conference for him to go to. So we'll see. But he's a good coach. Is that Coach Blackwell?
Yeah, Coach
Speaking
Blackwell.
of coaches, let's go to him here. Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for coming on here this morning with us.
No problem.
So, Coach, I want to start with you first with Liverpool this year. What was it like coaching during this pandemic in a short season for you?
Yeah, obviously it's a little different for all of us. We were just excited when we got to go ahead to play. It was great for the kids just to get out and be able to work towards something. We had a good group of kids too as well, very young, started 2 freshmen, and obviously we didn't have playoffs or anything like that, so it was unfortunate that we didn't really have anything to play for. But the kids enjoyed it; they just were happy to be back out there competing.
And I was to say, Coach, you were having a good season too at 9-3. Was it tough coaching knowing that there weren't any playoffs to keep the kids motivated?
I just told them at first, I think we wanted to go undefeated. I think that was what I told them to shoot for, just try to win every game possible. That would be kind of like their playoffs, just to try to have an unblemished record. And unfortunately, I had to leave with passing my dad. 2 or 3 weeks left in the season, so I missed the last 4 or 5 games. But again, it was hard, I think, for them. But just to get back out on the court, just to compete against each other every day, and look forward to playing an opponent, a couple times a week was just great for them.
And, Coach, let's talk a little bit about a team you know very well, and your alma mater in Syracuse. And, from a little bit prior to the ACC, probably like the last 10 or 11 games, and I was just talking to another Syracuse alum, Scott Petoniak, who comes on with us all the time.
Yeah.
And, what really changed for Syracuse? Because they looked like a completely different team the last 10 or 11 games heading into the NCAA tournament.
It just seemed like they had that sense of urgency towards the end. They knew that they were right in the bubble. They needed some more wins. I think they just collectively as a group, they continued to fight all year and, work hard in practice. And obviously Buddy, he started to play his best basketball. And obviously he's been the leader of that team from that point on. And they've kind of, ridden that wave. And he's just been, every game he's seen that seemingly has gotten better and better. And they've gelled as a group. Joe Girard's actually stepped up and been playing better. And they have really good pieces. And obviously, like we always talk about, the 2-3 zone is something you can't prepare for in the tournament. And they're, that with Buddy playing the way he's playing, they've just ridden that wave and played great.
And, Coach, Buddy has, throughout the ACC tournament and even into the NCAA, through these 4 games, he's averaging over 28.5 points a game. But Syracuse as a whole, as a team, has really shot the three-point ball, probably the best they have all season. Do they need to shoot like that to continue this run in the tournament? Did we lose Coach?
I think we did.
Did we lose your Coach? Well, we'll see if
he's still on the line, actually.
We'll see if we can get him.
It's ringing over here. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, see if you can grab it on that one, and then we'll see if we can get him back here on the line here. Yeah, we were having some difficulties. I don't know if that was on our end or if that was on Coach's end, but we'll see if we can get him back on the line. We were just talking to former Syracuse alum, Coach Ryan Blackwell, who's also the head coach at Liverpool High School. We were just talking, and Buddy Boeheim was talking to Scott Petoniak, too, about it. What a run he's had through the last, 4 or 5 games here between the NCAA tournament and the ACC tournament. He's averaging over 28.5 points a game. So, he's going to have to play well. But they've had a lot of people. Like Coach Blackwell was just saying, Coach Girard, or Joe Girard has really stepped up and shooting the ball well. So we'll see if they can continue their hot hand. And I think Pags is going to give me the thumbs up. I think he's going to have Coach Blackwell back on the line here in just a moment. Pags and I will give our predictions. Statman's got Syracuse tonight and we'll save our picks for the end of the show. And if you just tuned in, we'll have Coach Blackwell here on in a little bit. Some technical difficulties, so we'll see if we can get him back on the line. We were just talking about Shaka Smart. He was the former head coach at Texas. Just left Texas yesterday. The news came out that he took the head job at Marquette. He's coming back home. Did we have him?
Nothing's coming through.
Okay. We'll have to see. There's always a glitch here on there's always a glitch here on Saturday mornings, right?
There's a phone ringing here that's never rang before. I answer it, no one's there.
If it's not the internet, if it's not something here, when I'm not here, guys, you guys are gonna have to troubleshoot.
Holy cow!
You just never know what you're gonna get here. But we were talking about Shaka Smart, and I do think it's a step down. Now Marquette's got the facilities. Marquette's still gonna pay him, but the Big East Conference right now, from what it was years ago, is not the same. So I think it's a step down for Shaka. But I've always liked Shaka Smart. I think he's a great coach. I think the early exit in the NCAA tournament is really what hurt Shaka, because I had them in the Final Four. I know a lot of people had them in the Final Four. They made a great run.
To be a big name considered for that job. So unless it was one of those deals where it was just the timing was right, Texas knew they were going to let him go, so they kind of worked out a gentleman's agreement to not let him go until he finalized that deal with Marquette, so it didn't look like he was getting fired.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what, the Indiana job's still there, the Texas job is still there, and a lot of people are saying. I remember that was actually UMBC when they made that big run.
Hey, real quick, we got Coach Blackwell back on the air.
Oh, do you? Okay. Let me let's switch over to him. Hey, Coach, we get you back?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened.
No, that's okay. It might have been a problem on our end, but listen, I appreciate you giving us a jingle back. So, Coach, I know we were talking about Buddy Boeheim has really shot the ball really well. Does Buddy need to shoot like that to actually keep this thing going for Syracuse?
If he does it, other guys are going to have to step up. Like Alan Griffin has kind of been non-existent, going back to the beginning of the ACC tournament, end of the year. He really has had a great game. So if Buddy doesn't shoot well, which is okay, other guys are going to have to step up. Joe's going to have to make shots. Kadari's going to have to make plays. Quincy, who's played, decent, he's going to have to step up and make big plays. So collectively as a group, they have enough to do it if Buddy doesn't shoot well. But obviously it helps when he's on fire like that.
And, Coach, you were talking about that 2-3 zone, and I think everybody always says that if Syracuse can get into the NCAA tournament, that zone could win you a few games. And San Diego State shot very poorly. I think they shot like 30% from the field, and I think West Virginia didn't shoot much better. What separates that 2-3 zone? I know you can't simulate it in practice for opposing teams, but what makes it so special?
Just the way they rotate, their length, especially when Kadari's in the game, their activity. And they just do a good job of scouting who the shooters are, and the coach likes to play percentages, and guys are going to beat him, making 33s or 25s, whatever the number's going to be.
Sure.
Number, but he lives with that, and he does a good job of, if a guy gets to go to the high post and he's not a threat or a shooter or something like that, or a playmaker, he doesn't really guard him, so he adjusts in those areas, and the wings come up really high and just make it difficult. And obviously, most teams just prepare for man-to-man. So when you're going into a game and your offense is predicated on just playing man-to-man type of offense, it's just a different look, and you only have a couple days to prepare for it. It's not that easy.
And Coach Houston, Kelvin Sampson's done a good job. I think Kelvin Sampson, obviously, is one of the better coaches in college basketball. They run a 3-guard lineup, and the guards are tall. They're lengthy, 6'5", 6'6", athletic, and defensively, they're one of the best defensive teams in the country. What Syracuse have to do to find a way to keep this thing going?
Yeah, we're going to have to score, like you said. Defensively, they're really good. I looked them up, and they only give up 58 points a game on average, so that's really good. They've only lost 3 games, and they got guards that can score. So for us, we have to make shots. guys have to be involved, but defensively we have to find their guards, run them off the line, and make them, get to the basket or shoot mid-range pull-up shots. Make sure we get back on defense, and I think the real key is just rebounding. I think we've been doing a pretty good job. Robert Blackwell, when he comes in, for Griffin, he's done a great job on the defensive end, rebounding and making shots. So if we can keep that momentum going on both ends of the floor and just play together as a group, we should be okay.
So, Coach, who do you like to get to the Final Four with these teams that are left?
Well, I got to put Syracuse in. If I didn't, people would be mad at me. Obviously Houston's going to be a tough game, and then the Loyola game on the other side against Oregon State, I believe.
Yep.
Is going to be a good game. So I like us, honestly, the way we're playing, and we continue to play like that on this side. I'll go with Syracuse, and I'll go Baylor. I'll go Gonzaga, and then, I like Alabama. I've liked them all year, but for some reason I'm going to go another ACC team. I think Leonard Hamilton does a great job with Florida State. I don't think they've got enough credit, and I really like the way they're playing right now. So I'm going to go with them as the number 4 seed, Florida State, in that bracket.
Florida State always scares me. Always well coached, a very athletic team every year, in March especially. Well, Coach, listen, we appreciate having you on. Sorry about the phone issues, but let's do it again soon. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.
All right, Coach. Yeah, Florida State, we keep saying, and Coach Coffey just messaged me.